everyone, thanks for stopping by. I'm Kara Elizabeth, a 3-5 emotional manifester, here to provide you with your weekly energetic weather report via human design, a system that combines aspects of astrology, the I Ching, the chakra system, and the Kabbalistic tree of life. Now, every human design journey begins with looking up your unique human design chart, and you can do that at www.myhumandesign.com. Transits are the specific energies that are present in the universe at any given moment. I go over the sun and earth, the sun being our main experience and the earth being how we're grounding in it. And each transit tends to hang around for about 6 days. Now, my goal is to provide you with a general cosmic heads up on how you can expect to feel, what you can expect to experience, and how to best navigate your week. So if you're ready to go, let's get started. All right, you guys, it is that time again. We have just shifted in transit, the sun and the earth. So the sun has just shifted to gate 24, which is coming out of the Ajna center. And the earth has just shifted into gate 44, which is still coming out of the spleen. So we're still transiting, working our way through the spleen center, which is all about fear and intuition. So there is still going to be some fear experience this week through that. So we'll get to that shortly. And then the gate 24 is, like I said, coming out of the Ajna. And the Ajna is a center I feel like we haven't really transited that often yet. So let me just go over really quickly like what the Ajna is exactly so that you're aware. So the Ajna, it's also known as the mind center, and it's our cognitive awareness center. So this is the space where we process everything that we've downloaded from the head center or the crown center. So this is anything from ideas to concepts, details, and answers. And as an awareness center, it is here to help us make sense of the world and stay alive. So there are 3 awareness centers, I believe, and so the Ajna is one of them, and then the other 2 are the solar plexus or emotional center and the splenic center also. So definitely moving into a theme where we are just gathering information and hopefully start to see some clarity this week, because that's what this gate 24 is all about. It's all about quiet breakthroughs. So with the information that we receive and are pondering on. So let's see what Jenna Zoe has to say about this one. We'll just dive right on in. So with the gate 24, this is where we're going to have the ability to constantly upgrade our understanding of life to higher dimensions. So you know that saying that problems cannot be solved at the same level of thinking that created them? Well, that is the gift of the 24. And that is basically by transcending our current approach so that we can see more clearly and consciously. So, whether you have this one defined in your chart or not, we're all going to experience this and experience to its fullest this week as we transit through each line of this gate. So Jenna says that you are someone who is always reaching for more clarity in your life, whether that's a situation you're in or a subject you're interested in. And you have the patience to ponder that same thing until one day, all of a sudden, poof, clarity comes. You get an aha moment. So this is definitely where we're going to, like, the correct usage of this energy is to not push for answers, to not rush the answers or what she speaks of as clarity to come in. Okay, we want the clarity to happen naturally. That's the whole point of an aha moment, is just like something that we're pondering on. It's just unknown, and then one day, all of a sudden, we just know it. Okay, so that's what she's talking about here, and that's what is going to be our main experience this week. So continuing, pondering is more passive than thinking. So you're not forcing the answer, like I just said. You're just giving it time in your brain and staying open and ready to receive the clarity whenever the perfect time is for you to receive it. So this goes back to one of my favorite mantras for myself is if I needed it, I would have it. Okay, so I feel like sharing that with you guys again. I think I've shared it on another episode somewhere. I don't remember where, but if you need it, so basically if you needed the answer to your question in this moment or in that moment, then you would have it, okay? And you're going to have it exactly when you need it. So just be aware of that and just know that, okay? So how can we best flex this energy? And she says, don't think more, think better. Okay, interesting. Let's see what this says. So Miss Jenna says, aha moments happen when you improve the quality of your thinking. Essentially, you don't need to think more, you just need to think better. And you're someone who is so skilled at this. Most of us think about the same handful of things on repeat, day in and day out, and in the same patterns. So for the average person, thinking about thought A always leads them to think about thought B. And this person might feel like they're choosing each of their thoughts, but they're actually dictated by their hardwiring. So us, this week, experiencing the gift of this 24, can hotwire this hardwiring, okay? So you can observe your automatic thought patterns and bust out of them, creating entirely new ones that you've actually chosen and that serve you. So people with this gift, which is all of us right now for the next 6 days, has that huge capacity to rise up above these patterns and experience new ways of thinking. This is because you have a highly original mind that can see above the mental chatter that rules most people's minds. And in doing so, you are here to move us forward and help bring in healthier, better relationships to our thought processes. This is a big part of your purpose here, and a big part of all of humanity's purpose this week is to shift our thoughts and create new and better ones. So you are here to transcend regular ways of thinking and push your mind to higher levels of understanding. And when you can do this, you have breakthroughs in the way that you see. It's like wearing a better pair of glasses all of a sudden. What you're looking at doesn't change, but your perspective has been upgraded. This sounds good. Now, there's a lot of things, though, that she talks about, like more so than normal, that can block us from experiencing the highest of this one. So let's go through them one by one. So the very first one, she says, what will block us here is filling our minds with distractions or staying busy. She says it's in the silence and doing nothing that your life gets changed. And most of your genius and most of your growth will come when you can remove all the unnecessary stimulation and activity. Okay, I think I remember this one. Now, I don't have this gate normally defined in my chart, but I do remember, I believe last year when we transited it, which we transit it more than just once a year, but I'm thinking I remember this. So, and this was always a struggle for me here, but I'm not going to say it's always a struggle because I don't want to experience that this time around. I want to experience something different. So, but I do remember that last year, I remember this transit being really difficult for me to find quiet and stillness so that I could take advantage of this energy. And so I remember kind of being like forced into that, into that quiet and stillness. So just kind of be aware of that, okay? And like quiet time is not talking about like you going in your room and watching TV. Like this is a space where you get like extremely quiet, like no TV, no nothing going on. Just sitting in the quiet and stillness with yourself. And I know like that may sound so easy and simple, but just try it, you guys. Try that and experiment with it. And you'll see what I'm talking about as to like, it's kind of uncomfortable. But this is how we're going to be able to take advantage of the most of this energy, is by doing that for ourselves. So anyways, I don't want to get too stuck on that because there's two more things that can block us here. So the second thing is forcing an answer rather than staying open for it. So this is what I talked about just a second ago. So she says the beauty of this gift is in having that open to receive state. Even though the world will tell you that you do, you don't have to have an answer for everything all the time. The best truths and answers are the ones that we water carefully with our time and attention, but we allow to bloom whenever they're ready. Plus, having positive forward movement in our lives is not about having more answers. It's about having better answers. And then third thing, last but not least, is realizing that not everyone has this same patience and openness to breakthroughs as you do. So she says that sometimes we overlook what could be so valuable simply because we don't realize that it is. And if we don't realize it, we don't flex it and put it to use. It's only when we do does it have the chance to flower. So this week, seriously, all about tapping into patience, patience, patience. Like, I feel like even though this is Ajna, this is reminding me so much of my emotional wave because I'm a solar plexus emotional authority, and it's very similar. Like, I will sit sometimes and just sit and ponder and kind of go back and forth, almost like creating this pros and cons list in my head, and I will not get clarity until it's time. And there is no way I can rush it or force it. If I try to rush it or force it, it's extremely uncomfortable, and that's when I can start making incorrect decisions. And of course, we've all done that before. Where you make a decision, you make a rash decision, you rush it before it's ready, and it doesn't quite turn out, does it? So this is very similar, where we cannot rush the clarity. We cannot rush the answers. And remember, I'm going to repeat it one more time. If you needed the answer, if you needed it right now, you would have it already, okay? So just know that you have everything you need exactly when you need it. Okay, now let's move on to the Earth transit. So this is where we're grounding. And again, this is coming out of the splenic center, so there is going to be a fear attached to this. And it is gate 44. And she describes this one as spotting patterns and turning them into wisdom. So with the gift of 44, we're all going to be a whiz this week at spotting patterns and trends and being able to predict what's coming next. You can look at all the things that have been so far and see the obvious next progression. Our minds automatically go, if A and B have been before, then C will follow. So this gift will show up in the areas of life that you're going to be interested in, whether that be fashion, tech, sciences, or just general life. This effortless ability to see patterning also applies to people. So you're going to instinctively know who is aligned with who. You can sniff out which people are a good fit for each other in work, relationships, as well as friendships. And like with every gift, you are also going to be able to spot this for your own life. And in every pattern, there is wisdom and intel. So you are here to use this wisdom to improve the way that we do things, to put people together in a better way, and to predict what's going to come next. A knack for patterning means that you will tell how things are going to evolve, whose relationships will go well, and what events will likely follow on from the current situation. So in your own life, if you have this gift, which we all do right now, you have come here to really learn from your history and use that as guidance on how to show up differently today. This makes you an expert at evolution, and the trick is to use the past to create a better vision of the future and not the same vision as what's already been. So, how can we best flex this? And that is knowing that this gift has to be practiced. So like all intuitive gifts, the more you take note of them, the louder the messages become. So how good you are at this gift is in direct proportion to how much you listen out for it, trust it, and then act accordingly. When you don't listen, it's like saying that you're not interested in that intuition. So life doesn't send as much of it your way. So think of the intuition as a muscle. You have to work out that muscle to get like really good at it, right? Plus, the intuition is a very quiet voice. And typically when our intuition speaks, it's not going to sound logical. So that's where we can ignore it a lot of the times because it doesn't sound like the logical thing to do when it tells us to do something. And then also the intuition's voice is extremely quiet. So if you haven't practiced listening for it, then we can very easily miss it, especially because when it speaks, it's usually only going to say it one time and it's not going to repeat itself. So this is what she's talking about with like practice makes perfect here. So just take note of that. You may already be like super great at listening to your intuition and like that's wonderful. But I know a lot of people may not be so much. They may this like she said, this does not come natural. Like it takes practice, it takes work. So I just want to say like, for most people, just be open. This very much goes along the line with the sun energy coming out of the Ajna, gate 24 is, it's all about remaining open to answers. So, and this is also like an area where being quiet would benefit us greatly here, because like as long as we're quiet, it can be much easier to hear the intuition's voice when it speaks. Okay, so a good way to start a relationship with this gift is writing down, whether on paper or just on your phone, all the little things that it says to you, even if you're not quite ready to act on them yet. Just being truthful about what the messages are with yourself is already a giant step in the right direction, especially when the messages are kind of inconvenient. You acknowledging them anyways is a serious power move. I love that, you guys. Definitely try that. I'm going to try that too. So what can block us here? And there's a couple of things she talks about. So the first thing is not believing any sort of off feelings that you get about people or situations just because you can't explain why you feel them. So she says, part of what you're here to learn with this gift is that things don't always have to make sense on paper to be true. Instinct is the oldest form of intelligence, so trust it. The second thing she talks about that can block us in this energy is having a fear of the past repeating itself. So if you've listened to any of my other episodes lately, as we've been transiting through the spleen, you will know that each one of the gates coming out of the splenic center carries with it a fear. And so this one, here it is. It's the fear of the past repeating itself. So just be aware of that this week. You may be having some past experiences come up. You may even be experiencing something similar as you have in the past. And so it's just knowing and being open and aware that it doesn't have to turn out the same way that it did before. But of course, this is where you get to tap into your intuition. So that's not to say that it's not going to have the same outcome, but it's saying that it may not have the same outcome. It may or may not. But this is where you get to tap into your intuition with that, and stay open that even if the situation appears similar, just still going into it with an open mind and listening for that intuition to speak as far as what to do, okay? So she says that you can consciously or unconsciously, be ruled by an assumption that whatever bad experiences happened to you before will happen again. The logic is the past predicts the future. But here's the thing. Just because you can sometimes see trends and casualties in life, it doesn't mean that there is only that. Life is also full of random, spontaneous events and sharp pivots. Remind yourself that people's lives also can change overnight, and that the future is also a totally blank canvas that you get to create whatever you want on. And that negative experiences only have a hold on your life if you choose to carry them with you. So there you have it, folks. That is transit. We just shifted into that this evening, and so we will be there for the next 6 days. So be sure to like and follow. I would love to hear your comments as far as like how you're experiencing transit this week as we move through this energy. Feel free to leave it in the comments. Like and subscribe. I do a little happy dance every time I see a new subscriber and also a like come through. Even do like little happy dances at when I see like that view count go up. So I'm like thoroughly enjoying this. It just, as a manifester, your support, it continues to ignite me to do these, and it makes the process so much fun just to know that you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. So, all right, with that being said, there you go. Oh, one more thing. I have also recently just created a Patreon. I have 4 different membership tiers, and the first one, I believe, starts at only $2.22 a month, and they go all the way up to $22.22 a month. So it's super affordable, but that is where I will be creating very special content not posted anywhere else. So I'll be offering things like a special card of the month for you to ponder on. Also, I'll be offering a special meditation or hypnosis session each month, and anywhere from 1 to 3 extra behind the scenes kind of transit videos. I know the next one that I'll be doing is on the Jupiter transit. So that is where we experience luck and abundance. So if you want to know where we're going to be experiencing the most luck and abundance coming up in May, you may want to go ahead and sign up for Patreon membership. So love you guys so much, and I will see you next week. Bye.